How is everyone first? I haven't asked. Everyone all
Wait,
right?
wait, let me
Yeah,
get
great.
you start the intro. So here we
Oh,
are
shit, sorry.
with Duncan, Sammy, Tommy, and James, the gang. How is everyone? See, Duncan, that's how you ask how people are. Let's go one at a time. Duncan, you go last, just out of spite. Tommy, what are you saying?
Yeah, good man. How are you boys?
Yeah, it's
Trying to
decent,
survive
man.
this lockdown. Man.
This is it. What's the haircut saying?
Don't.
Caveman, Tommy King.
I look like a fucking pikey.
Like
Trying
Dags.
something different. It didn't.
You like Dags.
My dad.
Boys, how you holding up with
She was-
Fisticuffs fame? Are you guys, getting stopped in the streets and everything else? Are you all right?
It's hard. It's hard to deal with, to be honest with you. But I mean, we're used to it. At this point in our careers, we're used to this, so it's part of the game.
I mean, thankfully for lockdown, it keeps you guys safe for the time being. But, when things are back to normal, you get all the fans. It'd be like, okay now. So the plan for this call as such is to break down the scrap you boys had quite a while back. So before we get into watching it, let's talk through that sort of setup in the first place. Because who were you guys meant to be fighting? Because it wasn't meant to be each other, was it? So what happened with that?
No. So I got a call asking the week before, basically saying my guys pulled out, and they were like, "We're going to find you someone." And I think it was about the Wednesday where they said, "Do you want Tommy?" I think Sammy was offered Tommy by James Price, and I said, "Oh." So I started Snapchatting Tommy, and we were talking about it, and then I think his guy pulled out on the Tuesday or something like that. I think. And then, so I don't actually know when they found out about us, to be honest. So I'll leave that to them.
Yeah, it's fight week. My guy pulled out.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, it was on the Tuesday he pulled out. Remember? It was weird because obviously me and Duncan trained together and we're friends. So it's like fuck. And we was like, fuck, it's gonna be basically a spy in front of a load of people. So.
Now,
Yeah,
this is always interesting, Colton.
Yeah, so we like I said, we found out ours pulled out a bit sooner than theirs. So we were sort of waiting for a name, and then we got Tommy. And then, like Tommy had said, we had been sparring and training. I'd been at the gym a few times. I'd been doing quite a bit of my wrestling there, which was quite a concern for the fight. When they said about Tommy, I thought, oh, fantastic. Every bit of defense I know, I've been taught over there sort of thing. But, I mean, eventually we spoke to each other. Sammy was happy with it. James was happy. Me and Tommy both said that we'd do it sort of thing. We just said we want to fight. We haven't got an opponent. We're probably not going to find anyone else in the space of 2 days. I think we wanted to hold out. To see what was going on. And then, James. We'll call him. I'll just say James Price because they're both James P's. So, James Price didn't get anyone else. So we both said, yeah, we saw each other on the weigh-in day. And it was weird as you can expect. But it was, very weird.
So what was your background on that then, Tommy? Because we've all heard Duncan's version on his podcast available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but what was your plug there? What's your experience on all this, Tommy? So what was your mindset, obviously going in, someone you've trained against? Like, how did you, I don't know, mentally address that? Did you treat it like sparring? Did you treat the whole thing like, okay, this is a fight in its own right? How did you, I don't know, assess the whole thing?
I try to treat it as a fight, but it's weird because obviously we were training for the fight camps with each other as well. So obviously it got to like 3 days away from fight night and no opponents and got each other's names. So it's like, fine, fuck it. We both want to fight. So we're used to each other, punching each other in the face anyway. So fuck it. Just do it in front of a crowd.
So even then, so like, if you have like a fight against a stranger like you normally would, like, how do you treat the nerves and that side of things? Because again, it's someone you're familiar with, it's someone you've sparred with, someone you've trained with. Like, how do you treat that whole build-up? Because again, you've had several amateur fights now and soon pro and in the near future, I would imagine. But how do you compare those kind of nerves, like the uncertainty versus almost the pre-experienced?
I think the nerves don't change. It's still you get into a cage in front of everyone having a fight. Like the same, like 2 weeks after the fight, the nerves kicking anyway. Then the morning of the fight, I'm looking at fucking plane tickets to Thailand and get out of there. Just because the nerves have got me that bad. And then once you're in the cage, everything just fucking zone out. But I think the most important thing with one of Duncan's fight is after that fight, it made me so much more comfortable in the cage. because it was familiar, and that was a big turning point in my career. I think after that fight, it made me want to do this more.
Now that's an interesting thing, because that's what Duncan said as well. Because that turning point of, oh, this is someone I know, and then that sort of dissimulation from, okay, this is a fight, this is a big thing, to, okay, oh, I know what I'm doing now. I recognize what's going on. Like, now from a coach's perspective, Sammy and James, how did you find giving each other advice? Because giving the guys advice to, you know, try and actually finish guys who've trained alongside both of you. Like, again, it's a lot more malice. It's not quite, oh, make sure you're doing this, that, and the other. It's a lot more malicious. How did you find, start with you, Sammy, like regards of, I don't know, last minute game planning for Tommy? How did you deal with that?
I think the first hurdle was convincing Duncan it's okay to fight Tommy. I mean, these two boys are the high level of their weight. They're going to meet eventually. Duncan was very apprehensive, so I had to convince him. I said, look, it's going to happen sometimes, and it was just basically telling him, don't treat this as a training session. You know, this is a proper fight now. It's, you know, it can be best mates before the fight, it can be best mates after the fight, but when it comes to game time, you know, game on.
What about you, James?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm just going to repeat Sammy, but it was pretty much the same thing, to be fair. It was just, Tommy, ignore who it is for the time limit. Just get on with it, do your business, and then have a beer at the end of it. Everything will be cool. Duncan's sound, it's not like he's going to hold, regardless of the outcome, it's not like he's going to hold it against you or anything. So you've got 9 minutes, go have fun, go do your thing, and that's it. It was, it's a pretty similar, to be honest.
9 minutes is a long time, to be fair, despite what anyone says. You know, don't forget that, boys. It's all right. Now, apart from the pressing issues at hand, it's all right, Tommy.
Oh, come on. No.
We have fun, what we like. So what we're going to do before we get the video up, just quickly run by the sort of warm-up side of it. So again, on the game day itself, this is the last sort of, I don't know, time to think about before doing it itself. How did you guys treat fight day opposed to a normal fight day? Was it trying to keep it as normal? Were you trying to stay switched on? Were you trying to like relax? Go with you, Duncan, first.
Before I forget, was it same day weigh-ins for that one? That was quite a while ago. So was that same day weigh-ins, that one?
That was the same day.
Mm.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's horrible.
I think, it was like February 17th. So it wasn't
an issue.
I remember, as far as I remember with it, I remember turning up. It was Tom, I think it was Tom, James there. So I had to jump on the scales. It was weird because usually I'm staring across the room at my opponent thinking, and because before this fight, I remember thinking you had to hate your opponent. And it was a bit of a weird mindset, but I remember thinking, oh, I'm going to do some damage to this guy. I have to hate him, sort of thing. And then now knowing my opponent was a good friend of mine I trained with, it was a real weird one. So I stood right next to him. They called up my name, they called up his name. And then we were sitting next to each other going, oh, did you make weight? How was it? Was it easy? And then we both jumped on the scales, had a really smiley face-off, which was the first for me ever. Like, usually it's me trying not to appear nervous, trying not to have any chinks in my armour. But this one, we were both smiling at each other. I've still got it on my Instagram. It was a bit of a weird one, the weigh-in. The fight day preparation itself, I think we stayed there after the weigh-in. We had pre-made food, so we ate our food. Warm-up was the same, but that was the first time I was loose. I did a long warm-up. I was really loose. It was the first time I didn't have those nerves beforehand. I was loose for the fight. I came out feeling good. And like I said on the podcast, I think it's a big deal because I was fighting a friend that I didn't have those nerves. Not because like I didn't think Tommy could beat me. I was convinced on the day he probably was going to beat me, to be honest with you. But it was because I knew that I'd done rounds with this guy again loads of times. I felt comfortable, and that was my preparation for the day. It was just super, super relaxed for the first time ever. Now,
before you answer there, Tommy, when it comes to the way you describe it, Duncan, you said in the podcast, again, available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, how you kind of accepted, okay, this is someone who's got the better of me in sparring. He's like stylistically my worst matchup. Someone's going to take me down and smush me. So you've gone in there thinking, I'm going to get smashed. So let's give it all I've got, and you relax and you perform. How did you then face Duncan, knowing that stylistically you had the advantage in the sense of you had the build and the sort of style that goes against Duncan's style, in a sense, and obviously inspiring having successful rounds. How did you find, I don't know, addressing the situation on top of the initial like nerves and everything else?
Oh, as Duncan said, on fight day, it was probably the most relaxed I've ever been, even today, for a fight. But when it comes to sparring now, I never thought I like won any sparring rounds. I started very complimentary against each other. So I think he'd have with sparring, he would end up smashing the fuck out of me, or I'd smash him. It was always back and forth. So when it got into time to scrap, I don't know, just switch off and just fucking let my body do what it needs to do. Whether I end up getting smashed or smash, either way, it doesn't really matter. But
with that in itself, then, because you guys were familiar with each other's styles, did you feel a need to mix up on the day? So say Tommy with you, did you feel a need to, okay, he's expecting, you know, a couple of like loose hands and a double leg. Why don't I do some sort of spinning back kick or something a bit? I don't know. Orthodox.
Story really comes from spinning shit. I think that fight camp where I just decided from that point onwards I wanted to start spinning around. I don't know why. I think it's something doing Nick Diaz and Carlos Condit fight, and he was like, I was spinning shit, and I just got in my head. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be a fucking ninja out there. So ever since that fight, regardless of what point in the fight, I will focus on some sort of spinning stuff. But
everyone listening on audio, James looks mortified as Tommy's explaining this. Carry on.
Don't gameplay it though, because I've got some secrets in it. But yeah, when it came to the fight, I just tried to do what I could, just normal, just standard, throw heavy shots and take down. I think Duncan knew exactly what I was going to do, so.
I mean, this is it as well. In regards to advice from the coach's side, then, so Sammy, with obviously knowing Tommy's sort of strengths, how did you find, I don't know, advising on that kind of thing? Was it a case of keeping it familiar? Because again, you were trying to make that differential from it being a sparring match to an actual fight, and then trying to also keep that mindset in the right place along with techniques. So regarding your advice to Duncan then, how did you find, I don't know, was it based mainly around technical side or is it mainly mindset? How did you find advising Duncan on the day?
Well, with any opponent, we always do our homework anyway. So we know, we're familiar with Tommy. He's got a great wrestling. He's a very good wrestler. So from my memory, I probably told Duncan, you know, keep your distance, all long range, good, you know, keep on the inside of the cage. From my memory, that's what I think.
That sounds about right. That sounds every fight, doesn't it? As a rule.
Yeah, pretty much.
The advice is always just jab him once, Dunk, run around for the duration of the fight, and we should outscore him.
Stick and move, stick and move, stick and move is what we want. We love it. All right, so let's get YouTube up and watch the thing itself. So everyone listening on YouTube, Tommy Gibbs, Duncan Djillali. Is that, am I saying it? Am I butchered it or got it right that time?
Djillali.
Hey, close enough.
Djillali.
Close enough.
Are we loading it up on our phones?
Yeah, just stick it on YouTube. Everyone in the call now, make sure you're muting the YouTube side because otherwise it's going to play out and be really horrible to listen to. So, Tom Gibbs, professional organisation.
Where's it gone? I can't even find it.
3 years ago, bloody hell, look at that.
I was thinking that's 11 fights ago, this fight.
11 fights ago. Need to fight again, boys. Make it more recent.
Film spar.
Guys, how do you mute the...
Well, because you're on your phone, it should be all right. Like, if you play it, we should be able to tell if it's going to play through or not. I'm queued up at 0. I can hear you okay. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, I can hear everyone.
Cool. I'm getting queued up now. Has everyone else got it all loaded up?
Oh, yeah, we're not playing it yet.
So we're screen sharing or watching it?
No, we'll watch it on our own devices because if you screen share, it's too delayed. It just gets a bit messy.
All right. I'm good to go whenever you want to play.
Oh, we're going to play from the fight itself for the walkouts.
Well, we'll get started at 0. We'll just keep it running and we'll stop when we need to. So I'm synced up at 0.
I'm on 0.
Yeah.
Cool. Everyone just press play, then we'll pause when we need to. We keep timestamps. So now we're starting from 0.
Sweet.
So yeah, we'll just chat shit for the time being as well. So when it comes to like the Battle Arena events, what's the favourite place you guys have fought like, venue-wise?
Birmingham. Hands down Birmingham for me.
Edgbaston's a good stadium.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe Houghton. Me and Tom did
Homegrown one. Something like that. Here we go.
big one. Obviously, this fight was number 3 on the card out of 20. And then we went from that to within a year, both of us, co-main and main, both winning titles. So I think we both became double champs.
Exactly, that was
a good card. That was really enjoyable for that one.
it was me, you, and Masters, wasn't it? Headlining them cards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rob Masters on the card. Big shout to Rob Masters.
Yes, boy.
So Duncan is at yellow shorts, Bruce Lee kind of job.
Look at that. Who is this lanky kid?
Well, this is it as well. I think, was it you, Duncan, who climbed on the side of the cage but was too tall so your head poked through? Because someone did that in that venue.
No. That was the main event of this card, I think.
Yeah, it's Leicester, isn't it? It's one of some Kowloon one, isn't it? I think.
Oh no, this is Oxford.
Yeah, this is
Oxford.
Yeah, because I think this is where Lucas Sala fought Lionel Alexis, who I used to train with.
Oh yeah. And he that was the main event, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that, it ended in a way up. Yeah, it got pretty murked. Long day. There he is, big Tommy Gibbs, man himself.
Tommy Gibbs, squad in full motion.
Ooh.
Steve Brinkman even jumped out of the commentary to corner as well, didn't he? He didn't want to be biased.
Oh, that reminds me of Houghton. Steve got absolutely hammered in his tournament, didn't he?
Yeah, man, that's good. He's passionate, man. That's the thing.
Look at you, James. Beard all tidy and the rest of it. Look at he's had to show now. Sam Whispering.
What's that?
Like a child there, doesn't he?
No, I've gone a bit hobo now.
Hobo looks the best look.
With bias.
Well, my beard's a little better this time round, surely, Dan.
Of course, it's
Like
more
last time,
impressive. The thing is, I've got to go short and tidy because otherwise it gets too puby and a bit awkward. But here we are. Let's not talk about our insecurities here, boys. This is my podcast. We have fun. We don't talk about what.
I'm not really beard. I don't have a beard. I look about 12 years old. So.
To be fair, it's taken you since I met you.
Oh, look, Carson's leg brace as well. I had him on the other day. He was talking about his leg operation. It was fucking grim. Like his knee was absolutely fucked.
For me personally, it is not a proper Battle Arena card unless Carlson's announcing it.
Well, this
it's not
is
proper.
it. Because when I started fighting on him, it was a bit too late. He's already gone at this point. It's just a bit of a shame. It's just a bit, Chris Fenton.
He's quality.
Oh, I think his podcast as well. Draft and the.
No.
Are you, Tommy? Are you trying to promote other podcasts on my podcast? Are you all right?
I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
Carson. EMC.
Okay, boys, pause it there. I've got about to start 3:14 in. I'm in 3:14, which is the start of the fight. You guys are
3:16.
same difference. It's fine. Everyone.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, start of the fight 3:14 to 3:16 is fine. Let's go.
Wait, are we starting now?
Yeah.
We start.
Right. I'm going.
So again,
I'm
you guys touching gloves. So this is sort of moving around. Just talk us through what you think at this sort of point, like what kind of going to thin each other out. Because again, you guys are kind of apprehensive what's going to happen anyway.
Right at this point, I don't know. I'm just thinking he's going to put me on the arse in a second.
In all fairness, I was thinking, I was looking like, please just give me a takedown somewhere.
These cages are tiny as well. Oh, look at you trying to clinch up. Chuck him off the back.
Clip me with a left hook there.
Oh, he's got the guard.
Oh, it's begun. Oh, I'm down already. 30 seconds in and he's down.
He's got a Kimura. Wait, is that Helion Gracie? Oh, wait, it's not. It's Duncan Djillali.
This is just try and get up as quick as possible from Duncan Djillali.
I knew this trick because he's done it in sparring a lot. When you go to mount and you grab it and switch it over. I knew it was coming, but I just...
Oh, the trap and roll.
Oh, see you later. Look at this. Tommy Gibbs. Here he is.
Knockout.
Whoa. Gets
Take
the
heavy
fucking
shots.
there. Now this
I
is
just
always a
remember
bit of a
thinking-
tricky one. Go on.
Why? I remember thinking, stand up, you moron. Don't go with the ground with him.
I mean, this is the tricky thing when you get like a heavy wrestler with a good base, because it's like the worst thing for us lanky guys that, you know, you can't really triangle them properly. You can't really do a lot. And as soon as you grab them, they can't really get swept. They're just a pain in the ass.
I felt absolutely awful punching him there. I just did not want to. Because, I mean, I probably punched him harder in sparring and felt no guilt at all.
Because it's in a fight, it's like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what was weird, the transition with fighting with that shin guards on. Like, it is so weird.
Yeah, they get caught up, don't they, a lot, and you have to work around the shin guards.
Regards to like corner advice at this point, like, are you guys shouting the same kind of stuff, or is it just, you know, just keep doing it? Because it seemed like, you know,
Yeah, the usual. Take your time, relax, don't get too ahead of yourself.
This is where Steve and Sam would be.
Yeah.
They were
I
working.
remember the guillotine. I wasn't allowed to. Was it bridge?
Yeah,
You
no,
can-
I think you get quite close. I think this is the guillotine where you get really close. But Alan says no cranking or something like that. And I was like, thank God
Yeah,
for that.
I always thought when you guillotine, you always bridge up.
that's not cranking. Cranking's if you like fix the neck.
Twist.
If you not
Yeah,
fix
you
the
would-
neck,
you
yeah.
Then no bridging, so I couldn't.
Tommy Gibbs, if you were about 2 inches taller than Tommy Gibbs, you'd have had that.
Don't you tell him that. He gets told that on dating apps all the time. Leave him alone. Not on this
Aw.
podcast.
You
He's
would
got
have
to
had that. Yeah, that was super close, that guillotine. Super close.
That's the fucking burden of your life, isn't it,
Oh
bro?
no, 2 inches.
2 inches makes a lot. It's a big difference. Here we
That's
are.
all the-
We have fun.
These are short rounds, isn't they? How long are these rounds?
Only threes, I think.
Look at this punch from Tommy Gibbs. Whack.
Wham bam. Alan Jackson. I'm not a big Alan Jackson doing these days. I had Paul Nichols on the other day. He was good, correct.
Alan Jackson, got to be one of my favourite referees, I think.
He's a fun man as well, isn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he is. I'm sure he is. I'm sure Michaela said he is.
Is that your beard, Sammy? Fucking hell.
I did, mate. I've ruined myself that.
Oh, the girl, can I have it? Is it lying about
Dusting
anywhere?
Oh, there's Tommy Gibbs' mum in the background. What a woman.
Hands up to every ballerina.
She was so close to the cage, just screaming all fight.
She does every fight. Her face is in the cage every fight, and she's fucking stealing. You know, bullshit.
That's quality, though, man. That is quality.
I saw what my mum hates it. My mum just waits till I get home and said, how'd you get on? Like, all right, sick. Boys, what would you rather have? Sammy's beard or Sam Creasy's hair?
Oh,
That's
Sammy's beard, so then I could shave it off.
Oh, ruthless.
Or trim it up a bit. Not shave it clean off, but trim it up a bit.
So 7:30 I'm at now, which is the start of the second round.
It was
Yeah, pause it or...
No, we
50.
could. If anything, anytime you guys want to pause, just shout pause and we'll break down anything you guys want to talk about. Oh, that was saucy.
That was a sound. It was a good little back.
Oh, he's little spinning shit. Look at this. He's a little laugh as well.
Oh, that hurt. That spinning kick landed, and that hurt quite a bit. That's why I smiled.
Oh, he's just playing. I think I was really proud that I landed it. I was like, oh, fuck, I actually landed it. What do I do?
He's just teeing off of me, yeah.
This is just picking his shots. I think I might be there in the background somewhere because I was at that card.
If you were with Rob Masters, then he's near the front, yeah.
I was in the corner, like near the door, because that's when Max Pearson fought on the same show as well. That was his debut, where we showed up like
Yeah.
as it ended.
Fought H, didn't he? Oh, no, not Max Pearson. That was Max Zamaraki, wasn't it? Fought H on that show.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. The
I
Irish
think.
lad, innit?
Oh wait a minute! This card, the first fight, I think it was Harvey Stacey. Like his guy showed
Again?
like his guy.
Yeah, he fought.
Yeah, what was it?
He
His
knocked
mate-
out Faisal first round, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Oh, yeah.
That was so sick.
Harvey
That was
Stacey
horrible.
had special
So
people,
sick.
isn't he?
Yeah,
I was part of him. Oh, okay, I'm not good.
I don't really know if he competes that much. 'Cause I know he competes a lot in jiu-jitsu. I don't know if he still fights in MMA or not.
Oh,
Yeah, he does.
shit.
But there's the
Oh,
power
shit.
double from Duncan.
Oh, the little trip as well. It's
Only
awesome.
takedown I know how to do.
Tommy,
down.
pause this here, boys. Tommy, is that Rebel Guard I can almost see? The fuck is that?
Oh. I thought I went for rubber guard a lot in this fight. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
It was just because I fuck it and doing it.
So timestamp wise, I'm at 9:12 for everyone listening. So pause it there at 9:12. Tommy's rubber guard. I'm gonna play from here onwards. So 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Again, it's rubber guard's a funny one because like it's invented for MMA, but everyone who uses it in like jiu-jitsu just sits in their ass and doesn't really use it. So it's a bit, counterintuitive.
Yeah, I don't think I'm inspiring or anything ever used it before. In this fight, I just thought, fuck it. It worked.
I mean, you got decent posture control here. I mean, if you got some sort of like go-go player or Duncan here, I mean, you'd go down a battler in history, I think.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm glad he didn't.
Back of the head. He's got no mercy. He's his mate.
Referee, have a word, ref, have a word.
That's it, sit him down.
He's going for it though, isn't he?
I was going to say Eddie Bravo. He knows what he's doing.
He's going for that.
He's a trier, bless him.
It's a small man syndrome right there.
This is a conversation with fancy Jits. Boys, it's got 15 likes and 1 dislike. Is that 1 dislike you, Tommy?
Fucking call out.
He's going for the leg lock as well. Is he going for the little knee bar? Tommy, he's bringing it all out. Bonus points for Star. He loves it.
Oh, look at that. Kicks on the ground for Duncan. That you don't like to see that, do you?
Ooh.
The worst thing is, I look so high. I don't know why. My faces I look high.
Maybe it's the weed smoke beforehand. Who knows? That always does it as a rule.
I don't know. It's going in places, isn't it?
I mean, regards to scoring wise, it seems pretty even. I don't know if I'm just like, I'm seeing this, but there wasn't really like in there.
Close.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's wafer thin between the two at this point.
Wafer thin like Duncan's legs. I actually think the commentator referred to them as pipe cleaners at one point in this fight.
That's awful.
Graceful from the commentator.
Oh, hey, Sammy's a big tailspin. He loves it.
I was in a bad way at the beginning of this round. Bad way.
Yeah, so was I.
That was a lovely joke.
All right, boys. Time-wise, where are we at with this? Because I'm at 11:36. Just started the third round.
I'm just on 36.
Yeah, we'll pause a minute. We're a little bit further ahead.
Yeah,
It's all right. We just started the third round. Don't worry too much.
Yeah, we've only just started that, to be fair.
Inside low kicks. Tommy loves it. Oh, little stiff jab. See you later.
Oh,
Spinning back assist. Look at this. Tommy, who the fuck do you think he is? He loves it. He's spinning again. He won't stop.
That's what I told you. It was fucking.
Once you wind him up, mate, he's gone.
Hey, he loves it. So we're throwing spinning shit now. Oh, the little double. Oh, the little ankle pick. Love to see that. Little ankle trap.
Oh, got me.
Oh, he's got the hip control and all. We love it. And again,
Beeb on the go.
wait a minute. Is this when needs the head with legal or amateur? Or is this when they're not?
He don't need to the head. Does he need in the head?
No, but like where you are, you probably could.
I was going to say, no, there's no knees in the head.
You can get up that high.
Well, this is kind of what I was thinking as well. That's probably why he didn't do it.
Now he can. He's on the floor. You're right now.
Oh, he's gone down again.
He loves it. He's getting comfy down there. See, I like that,
sneak
Tommy,
off
what
the
you're doing
cage,
there. See, I like how you're doing that, Tommy, how you're sort of squaring him up to the cage at that point. Is that something you always do? Or is that just a thing you do out of habit?
I just put even if I'm in the centre of the cage, I'll just move him over to the cage and try to trap the head against the cage.
Crush.
Yeah, it's nice. A little contortion of it. Little peppered shots. Oh, you guys are probably whispering sweet nothings in your ears. Toes in the cage. Toes in the cage. I hate that so much. Fingers in the cage.
Oh, Alan Jackson, have a word, will you, mate? That's legal, that is.
Sit him down. Oh, the old little switcheroo. A little.
Sneaky.
He loves it. So, Duncan, whilst I've got you as well, how do you feel that Linus tapped you and out with you on the podcast?
I spoke to him the other day. I think Jack was there as well. I subbed him twice, the little liar.
That's what the podcast said.
Sub him again. Put him to sleep next time. Choke him out.
Oh.
No mercy. If Tommy Gibbs going for a rubber guard again.
Why does Alan Jackson do the stand-up gesture when you're already up? It's so pointless. You're already up. Like, what the fuck's that about?
Oh.
Love it.
Oh.
Again, I don't know how you... Oh, spinning shit. He loves it.
I can't know that one.
Well, it didn't work. Did not work that takedown, did it?
It was a nice guard pull you got there. It's interesting.
That was, 100% deliberate, the guard pull. That was what I was going for. I was having so much success from my back. I thought, let's go back there.
Oh, there we are. So that's how it plays out. I mean,
now that seems like it went so quickly.
It did at Flowbolt. So let's go back on the call itself. So it's one of those ones. It's really interesting watching it back as to how, I don't know. There's so much in that. So much happened. Now, regards of what advice you'd give to yourselves going back in hindsight, we'll start from a coaching perspective. Where did you feel you could have given a bit more, I don't know. Sammy, watching that back, is there anything you'd have advised differently? Stop pulling guard, maybe?
I mean, he used his range very well there. There was a couple of times where his feet was glued to the floor and he didn't move. But yeah, probably a bit more movement on the feet. Still keep the range. And yeah, pretty much that.
What about you, James?
What could we do different? I don't know, to be fair, because you're in front of Duncan. So it doesn't really matter I'm going to say. I would have said push them back against the cage, shut the distance more, get him down, wear him out, tire him out, beat him up a bit more. But Duncan was doing everything he had to do correctly to make sure that wasn't happening. So maybe possibly use better head movement, footwork to get inside. But not much. Props to Duncan for stifling Tommy's intentions a lot more. So, yeah, that's kind of where that's at.
What about you, Tommy? What would you have done differently watching that back, regards of advice to yourself?
Not a lot, really. I think I needed a bit more of a gas tank in this fight. Because you can see in the third round, I'm absolutely fucked. I think if this was the fight where I was like, okay, I need a better gas tank after this. I remember fucking everything felt like lead in that third round. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. So I think after that fight, I seriously worked on my cardio a bit. But at the time, not really a lot.
What about you, Duncan? Sense of like strategy and things that are working, things that weren't. I mean, the guard pulling was going absolutely sublime. But, you know, he getting caught with the spinning stuff. So, again, it's a bit of a...
Probably would have pulled guard a few more times and made it look like Tommy Gibbs were getting takedowns, but I don't know. I think we both came out with the perfect game plan, really. I mean, Tom got a fair few takedowns. I landed some strikes, some decent strikes, I think. It was, even just looking back on that then, it was super close. I remember just standing next to him thinking, I've got no idea. Usually you've got an inkling of where this is going. I had no idea. I thought if I win, yeah, cool. If I lose, I put up a good fight, really, sort of thing. I didn't put on a bad display for myself. I feel like I did all right. I had fun. There's always a possibility that something could happen where bad blood comes from it. And at the end of the fight, I think I'm more grateful that it ended how I wanted it to, sort of thing, quite in a good way. I got the win in the end. So for me, it was perfect. For Tommy, he would have wanted to win, obviously. But I think we both wanted to end it that sort of way, I think.
I think that's the beauty of amateur, and especially this experience, because, again, it's more amateurs getting that cage time in and getting that time under that pressure, under those lights. And the fact you guys had almost the perfect opportunity there without the kind of risk of a complete unknown and also pre-experience, and then just basically it's just extreme sparring at that point. It's just a bit more... It's so fight specific, you're sparring, it's actually a fight. It's that kind of like, it's so on the nose. And again, I'm glad you guys all joined in on this little breakdown thing. I thought it was fun. Where can they all find you on social media? Sammy, where people find you?
Me, Sammy.Lever on Instagram, Prime MMA on the Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, should be able to find me.
James?
Yeah, Elite Training Centre, Instagram, and then you'll find us there. You'll find me. You'll find us all. We'll be best
Tommy?
place to go, straight to the page.
Tommy Gibbs 92 on my Insta. I'll put shit up there daily, so you get your money's worth.
Yeah, Duncan.
Trust me, he's social media.
Up, down, dunk on everything.
Fantastic.